So far this year, there's been approximately 3,000 of those Channel migrants arrive on the shores of Britain, mainly down towards Kent. So this story, yes, has disappeared, quite rightly, because the more important issues happening in Ukraine. But it isn't a story that's going to go away for the rest of the year. And as we are struggling to find accommodation by the government to house those genuine refugees coming over from the Ukraine, we will still need to find accommodation this year, estimated of 60 to 70,000 coming across on the Channel.
What have you made, Stephen, of this departure in government policy when it comes to the accommodation of refugees? This idea that seems pretty novel to many of us, that the state is saying, we're going to hand this, if you're really serious about helping refugees, OK, go on then, we'll pay you a little bit of money to host somebody in your house. But this is very much not a matter for the state necessarily, or even local authorities. Though obviously, to some degree, they're on the hook when it comes for things like, schools and all the rest of it. But this idea that they are saying to individuals, not the state, take a hand.
The reason they're doing this, quite frankly, is because the Home Office is in such a mess. It's failed in its policy to manage the economic migrants and those who are genuine asylum seekers from other countries of the world over the past few years. And as a consequence of that, there genuinely is very little accommodation left in the private sector, either through the contracts that they've subcontracted to the three major providers for hotels and long-term accommodation, and councils, which are struggling to find the resources as well. Bearing in mind, Colin, we do have about 250,000 people born in this country living in bedsits without accommodation as well. So that failure over the past few years has led this massive hole. And that's why they are literally begging people to house those genuine asylum seekers, because now that we've got a true refugee crisis, it will shame the government to have nowhere to house them. And that is why they're trying to fund people to do their job for them.